What's up, folks? I hope you're kicking as much as the new Wonder Woman and Batman trailers, if you're following the DC fandom. While Parasymbols are also equally exciting. I mean, today we have two interesting questions. Actually, I was lying, Parasymbols aren't so interesting and boring, but these two questions might help you. The purpose of these two questions is to move a little bit to a higher level compared to the previous videos. The previous videos, we've dealt with largely, simpler parasymbols which have connectors and quite a few clues. The two parasymbols that you're going to see today in this video, uh, slightly trickier. Clues are always there. Obviously, it depends on your reading ability. Can you find it? Can you not find it? Slightly trickier because of the subject from which these sentences have been taken. Number one, unfamiliar subjects are always problematic. Humanities subjects are always a little trickier. And also the absence of clear-cut connectors. Okay, let's look at the first question. You could pause the video here and try to solve it. But again, as I keep reminding again and again, make sure that you set a timer. Okay, don't take more than 2 minutes to solve this question. Get habituated to that pressure. Let's look at the question straight away now. Sentence one. Okay, even before I jump into, again, as usual, before I explain the sentences, let us, good habits, look at the left side of the question. What do I see? Do I see any connectors? As I mentioned earlier, you would not see anything except this also. Even this also is a little tricky to spot because it's inside, but also is a powerful clue. Okay, but so we have one. Do I see anything else? I see names, but I don't see full names. So that's not going to help me in any way, isn't it? And the moment you see words like Kant or, Schopenhauer, it's going to be philosophical, metaphysical, God knows, things that probably will go over your head. Shouldn't allow them to go over your head, but you know that the subject is tricky. Anyways, look at the sentences. We can also be subjectively aware of our hand as something we inhabit, as something we willfully move, and of which we can feel its inner muscular workings. Okay, so we know that this sentence is following another sentence of a similar discussion, from a similar discussion idea, because of this word also. You remove the word also and this becomes a very tricky sentence, isn't it? The other important word here is subjectively. We'll come back to why this is an important word later. Having rejected the Kantian position that our sensations are caused by an unknowable object that extends independently of us, Schopenhauer notes importantly that our body is given to us in two different ways. Okay, so if you read sentences like these, whether it's parasymbols or in RC passages, you need to have your reading instincts turned on. Okay, having rejected the Kantian position that whatever that is comes in brackets. Okay, you do not make this a part of the idea of the sentence. The idea of the sentence is, having rejected the Kantian position, Schopenhauer notes importantly that our body, again, this part double dash, if you remember from previous videos, is extra information. This again is brackets. So this is the actual sentence. Having rejected the Kantian position, Schopenhauer notes importantly that our body is given to us in two different ways. Okay, you need to declutter your reading and you need to be able to separate out the sub ideas from the main idea in every sentence. You do it sentence after sentence, para after para, passage after passage, day after day. You have to be able to do that because, hey, for your own benefit, right? Your career depends on it. So, having rejected the Kantian position, Schopenhauer notes importantly that our body is given to us in two different ways. Whenever you see this, okay, your eyes should literally light up. Looks like a difficult question, but this probably is like a deadly clue for you. Even otherwise, even in an RC passage, when you see this, your eyes should light up, because the moment the author is organizing ideas for you, makes your life a lot easier. Two different ways, which means I'm going to get two ways. Is that right? The parasymbols, even better, because two different ways, I'm going to have two sentences. So you can immediately look for the pattern, right? We can objectively perceive, and you should almost stop here and know what are the two different ways, right? Because of the usage of the words. That's why I told you subjectively is important. We can also be subjectively aware, we can objectively perceive. So we haven't even completed reading the third sentence. I already have an inkling in what looked like a difficult question, what probably feels like a difficult subject. I don't have to understand what Kant is trying to say or Schopenhauer tries to say. All I know is two different ways, and I have objectively and subjectively, and there is an also here. Beautiful, right? So one has to come after three because there's an also, right? So 2, 3, 1 is the skeleton of the paragraph. Let me put it here. 2, 3 and 1 is going to be the skeleton of the paragraph. 3 looks very messy. Okay. We perceive our body as a physical object among other physical objects subject to the natural laws that govern the movements of all physical objects, and we are aware of our body through our immediate awareness. Okay. So the keywords here again, keywords as I discussed in one of the reading comprehension videos, you look for important nouns. Body here, okay, hand here, and then another hand here. So we know that these two are definitely connected. But body is a bigger idea, isn't it? So you do not talk about hand, then go and talk about the body. Talk about the body and then go a little deeper, isn't it? It's almost like zooming in, right? From outside to inside, bigger idea to smaller idea. That's how parajumbles work, right? So you know what is the order. Still, I mean, we need not have a clue about what this passage or this paragraph is trying to say. You can still solve it. I mean, that becomes a 1 minute parajumble of sorts if you know, if your head is in the right place and you know what to look at, right? So having rejected A's position, B notes that, you know, our body is given to us in two different ways, right? And then talks about body, the continuation. We perceive our body as a physical object among other physical objects, and blah, 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 blah. We can objectively perceive our hand, example of, you know, something deeper, as an external object. We can also be subjectively aware of our hand as something we inhabit, right? So 3 and 1, one block. 4 comes before that because it's a continuation of body from 2. So what is the order? Where do I sneak in 4? I'll sneak in 4 here, isn't it? 2, 4, 3, 1. That will be the answer to this particular question. Let's look at the second question, okay? A contrivance must be used for matters outside the drama. Again, dash, if you remember from previous video, like a colon, this is extra information. Either previous events, which are beyond human knowledge, or later ones that need to be foretold or announced. Okay, this is extra information, doesn't mean this is useless information, mind you. That's the difference between a dash and a double dash. A double dash gives you information that you can put within brackets, but just a dash gives you information that's an elaboration on the left side. The dash, single dash information is important. This information is important, okay, for subsequent ideas. Not saying that this is not important, the double dash one, but the double dash one is less important than the single dash information on the right side, okay? It's almost like an order, okay? When there is a semicolon, the information on the right is extremely important. When there is a colon or when there is a single dash, the information on the right is decently important. When there is a double dash, not so important. Important still, but still have to read everything, but that's the order in which the importance is taken. That's why punctuation marks are very important, okay? A contrivance must be used for matters outside the drama. Outside the drama has been explained further, okay? We'll leave it here. No need to read the same information again and again, especially not in parajumbles. In the characters, exactly as in the structure of the incident. So we are talking about two things here. This is a noun and this is a noun phrase. So there are two things being compared. In the characters, exactly as in the structure of the incidents, the poet ought always to seek what is either necessary or probable, so that it is either necessary or probable that a person of such and such a sort say or do things of the same sort, and it's either necessary or probable that this incident happened after that one. Okay, this part you're not reading again because it's just elaboration. In RC, yes, you'll have to read this, but not in parajumble. In parajumble, where's the idea? In the characters, the poet ought always to seek what is either necessary or probable. That's the actual idea. And while saying, the author saying this is very similar to structure of the incident. So I have characters, I have structure of the incidents. In these two cases, poet ought to seek what is necessary or probable, right? For we grant that the gods can see everything. This for, again, if you remember from a previous video, is like because. It's a conjunction. It's not a preposition. So this sentence, this is your connector in other words, right? This is giving you the reason for something else in another sentence. For we grant that the gods can see everything. It is obvious that the solutions of plots too should, this is your big clue, right? Words like to, also, other, another, remember, positive connectors, they connect to other things. So whatever is in this sentence is like an add-on to something else. It is obvious that the solutions of plots too should come about as a result of the plot itself and not from a contrivance. As in the Medea and in the passage about sailing home in the Iliad. Examples that are not required here. Essential reading outside, but for the questions not so important, okay? It's obvious that the solutions of plots too should come about as a result of the plot itself, not from a contrivance. What's a contrivance? Something that has been forcibly added, something that's not natural. And if your vocabulary is really strong, you should be able to connect it to this particular word. Contrivance is something that's not probable, contrived, they say, right? Forcibly added, okay? Like a terrible item song added in the middle of our movies, unnecessary, right? Something like that. So the author here is saying in the characters, exactly as in the structure of the incident. So we have characters, we have structure of the incidents, and then we have solutions of plots too. 3 things. That's why I know that 4 follows 2. Okay. In the characters, exactly as in the structure of the incidents, the poet ought always to seek what is either necessary or probable. It is obvious that the solutions of plots too should come about as a result of the plot itself and not from a contrivance. Now, contrivance is here and contrivance is here. If you remember what I mentioned in a previous video, when you have the same word repeating in 2 different sentences, you pick that sentence where that word has been introduced. That's one way of knowing that 4 comes first, because contrivance is being explained here, as in the media and in the passage about what is a contrivance has been explained in 4, right? There's another way of knowing that 4 comes before 1. Again, has been discussed in a previous video, that when you talk about the same thing, the negativity comes first and then we talk about the positive. It's not this that is important, it is this that is important. We never say it is this that is important and then say it is not this that is important. Okay, it's not exercise that should be a number 1 priority. It is diet that should be a number 1 priority, like that. So even that helps me put exercise should also be a priority. Okay, I'm not trying to mislead you there. So 4 comes before 1, right? So let me put it here, not immediately necessary, but I know that 4 comes to the left of 1, right? For we grant that the gods can see everything, suits this, must be used for matters outside drama, either previous events which are beyond human knowledge. The moment we know beyond human knowledge, okay, we know why the author was talking about gods seeing everything. That's how you connect the expressions. You don't have to, it's not rocket science solving the parajumbles or finding clues. It's just good reading, nothing else, just connecting words that are similar and phrases that are similar. Okay, so I know that 1 and 3 is a block connected by the connector for. I know that 4 follows 2 because there is a keyword called 2 here, right? In the characters, exactly as in the structure of the incident. So you know that the previous sentence is obviously talking about structure of the incident. So there is structure of the incidents, big idea, characters, next big idea. Then we have solutions of plots. See, bigger idea, smaller idea, even smaller idea, or zooming in. So what is the order for this paragraph? 2, 4, 1, 3. Hopefully you enjoyed solving these 2 questions. Make sure you recollect the notes. It's important to remember all the things, all these tiny details. They are good habits. Inculcate these good habits. And if you haven't already done that, check out the, oh God knows, I don't know in which year and in which era you will be watching this video. So I mean, check out all the DC movie trailers anyways. Okay, thank you very much. Thanks for your time.